Hi, boys and girls, and welcome to today's reading lesson. We're going to be learning about text features today, but before we do that, let's read our I can statement. I can know text features to locate facts in a text. So, boys and girls, we need to talk about fiction and nonfiction books. So, we have been reading a lot of fiction books, just like this, where you have an animal or a character, and it's about a made-up story, like Chrysanthemum. Do animals talk in real life? No, that's a fiction story. So we have been reading a lot of fiction stories. Now we're going to be reading some nonfiction text. So that just means a nonfiction book or a paragraph or something written that is true. So boys and girls, fiction is fake. This is how I remember it. Fiction is fake. It's made up. Nonfiction is true. Fiction is fake and nonfiction is true. So what's nonfiction? True or fake? That's right, it's true. What about fiction? Right, that's fake, that's made up. Very good. So let's go ahead and start with our sight words. So our sight words this week, I'm gonna show you one and let's remember. What's this one? Goes, very good. Next, awesome. Last, what about this one? Away, and what about this one? Got. All right, let's scramble them up and do it again. What's this one? Next. Very good. Goes. Got. Last. Away. Very good, boys and girls. Feel free to rewind that and go over those again if you need extra practice. Remember to practice those sight words at home. All right, we are going to be learning about text features today. So text features are things that give us information in a nonfiction text. So remind me, is nonfiction real or fake? That's right, it's real. Very good. They make the text easier to understand. So here are some examples, and then I'm going to show you a video of some features too. A photograph, so something like an illustration, a picture about something real, or a photograph, something that's actually taken, something that's actually a picture. An index, so that will tell you where you can find certain things on certain pages. Caption, that is like words underneath a picture telling you what's happening. So right here I have a picture of a tree and it says the leaves are falling. That's a caption. That writes something about the picture to help you understand what you are looking at. Bold text, that just means that the text is in bold, that it's bigger, so that means it's an important word. Fish swim underwater. Notice how underwater is bold. And a diagram, this is something that shows you, they have a lot of different labels, which we'll talk about labels, but it shows you maybe how something works or how different things combine to make something. So right here, I have a diagram of a tree where I showed the roots, the trunk, and the leaves. I'm going to show you a video now and show my screen. I'd like you to listen to it.
About nonfiction text features. Text features are the things found in nonfiction materials that help you make sense of what you're reading. These text features can also help you decide which pieces of information are the most helpful to you. Titles are usually located at the top of the page or front cover. They tell you what the book, article, or chapter is called. Some books and articles have subtitles. The subtitle gives more information about the title. The beginning of a nonfiction book or article often has a table of contents. The table of contents tells you on what page each chapter or section begins. Nonfiction materials use lots of tools to share information. Charts, graphs, and tables organize data and statistics to make it easier to read. Photographs and illustrations often have captions underneath them. Captions give more information about the picture. A diagram is a simple drawing that shows the parts of something or how it works. Diagrams have labels that tell you what each part is called. Some nonfiction materials have maps. A map shows where something is located. A timeline shows the order of when things happened. Timelines are often used with historical events. Nonfiction materials often use bold and italic letters to draw attention to important words. Bold words are made with dark, heavy lines. Words in italics are slanted. Sometimes the bold and italic words can be found in the glossary at the end of the book. The glossary is like a mini dictionary that gives definitions of the keywords found in the book. The index is usually the very last page of the book or article. It tells you on what pages you can find important information or keywords. Words in the index are listed in alphabetical order. Nonfiction text features are the things found in nonfiction materials that help you make sense of what you read. Let's look at the text features we've learned so far. Title, subtitle, table of contents, chart, graph, table, captions, diagram, labels, map, timeline, bold, italic, glossary, index. Thanks for listening.
All right, great job listening to that video. And you can go back and watch that if you need to, and you can remember, I'm gonna stop presenting my screen here, and you can remember those text features. So we are gonna be reading a nonfiction text today called Hurricanes. And notice how I have a title here. That is a text feature. It's also in bold text. My title is Hurricanes by Gail Gibbons. And be looking for some text features, okay? The winds are howling, the rain is pouring down, violent waves are crashing onto the shore. A dangerous spitting storm has formed over tropical waters. It is a hurricane. It says hurricane comes from Huracan, the name for ancient Mayan god of the big winds. So notice how hurricane is in bold text. Do you see how that's bolded? It's bigger. That's one of our text features right here. Bold text. So that means it's important. All hurricanes form over tropical waters. Warm water evaporates and rises into the atmosphere. The warm, moist air spins upward, creating a draft that sucks up some more moisture. If the water temperature is more than 81 degrees Fahrenheit, the cycle continues. Winds get stronger. As the moist air rises, cumulonimbus clouds are formed. Can you say that with me? Cumulonimbus. Very good. So right here, we see cumulonimbus clouds. And we see that evaporates means that water turns into air. So that's what evaporates means. And notice how it shows us that in bold text. Very good. The rising air creates more of an updraft. Even more moisture rises, creating an even larger cumulonimbus clouds that hold even more water. The spinning of the air accelerates. That means it goes faster. Even larger groups of cumulonimbus clouds continue to build up. Condensation causes rain. When the speed of the wind reaches 74 miles per hour, the storm is classified as a hurricane. So notice there's a picture here that helps us see how it evaporates and then it starts to spin faster and faster. Notice that. We see that picture and that helps us understand, like our photographs help us understand what we are reading about. Let's keep reading. Most hurricanes are about 100 miles to 300 miles wide. That is so long. To run a mile, it takes 8 to 10 minutes, maybe even more. That's 100 miles. That's pretty big. The center of a hurricane is called the eye, which is clear and calm. It may be 10 to 20 miles wide. The strongest winds in a hurricane are those closest to the eye of the storm. This area is called the eye wall. So notice here that I have some labels. Some things that are showing us where things are. So I see eye wall and I see eye here. And it is on a diagram. So just like we had mentioned earlier, diagrams contain multiple labels showing how something works or what it looks like. And we see a picture here that helps us understand that better. Most hurricanes form over the Atlantic Ocean north of the equator. They usually last about a week and travel on a course that is very difficult to predict. Look here. What text feature do you see here? I see a map. Very good. It's a map. It tells us where something is in the world. Very good. Many hurricanes have devastated cities and towns with strong winds. Usually there are heavy rains. Sometimes there is hail. Storm surges cause the greatest damage. They are huge walls of water forced up out of the sea, devastating everything in their path and on occasion altering the shoreline itself. In 1972, Herbert and Robert developed a hurricane scale. This scale ranks hurricanes in categories of 1 to 5. It has permitted meteorologists in the National Hurricane Center to predict the likely impact of an approaching hurricane. So notice here we see some more bold text. It says the National Hurricane Center is located in Miami, Florida. And it says meteorologists are scientists who study weather. Notice they have a map in the background too. That's a text feature too. Category 1 hurricanes. So there are many different categories of hurricanes. We're going to learn about them. Category 1 hurricanes have wind speeds between 74 miles per hour and 95 miles per hour. There may be a storm surge up to 5 feet, so water's up to 5 feet. There is some damage to trees and small buildings. Notice that picture, how it shows us what the damage might look like. Category 2 hurricanes have wind speeds between 96 miles per hour and 100 miles per hour. There may be a storm surge up to 8 feet. Coastal roads flood and there is moderate damage. So notice what the damage might look like if you have a Category 2 hurricane. And we're going to stop right here and finish the book tomorrow. Category 3 hurricanes have wind speeds between 111 miles per hour and 130 miles per hour. That's pretty fast. There may be a storm surge up to 12 feet. Trees are uprooted, large cars and trucks are swept away. There is extensive damage in buildings and on boats. Notice how much damage that picture, that text feature shows us how much damage there may be with a Category 3 hurricane. Well, great job reading that so far with me. We've learned about a lot of text features, so keep up the great work. What we're going to do now is I am going to review some with you. So I'm going to show you a picture and you tell me what it is. So what is this? What text feature is this right here? It's circled. That's right. It's bold print or bold text. Very good. What about this one? What text feature is this? Very good. That is a diagram. It has lots of labels and it shows different parts of something or what something looks like or how something works. Very good. What about this? What is just one of these called? Very good. That's a label. Very good. Okay, and last but not least, we'll review one more. What's this called? This one's a little tricky. It tells you where you can find the chapter, on what pages you can find the chapter. It's usually at the beginning of the book. That's the table of contents. So sometimes in nonfiction books, there's a table of contents that shows you what page you can find different chapters or topics. Very good. All right, I'm going to go over our seesaw activity for today, just so I can prepare you for what we're going to be doing. So we are going to be doing a nonfiction text features matchup. The very first thing you'll do is you'll touch your move tool and you will move each of these words into the correct, or into a column. So I have caption, photograph, glossary, and heading. So then you have some pictures here. I see a picture of this. I see another picture here. I see 5 pictures. So we're going to match them up. This very first one, it says the title on it. It says table of contents. So I know that it is a table of contents. And remember, boys and girls, what's a table of contents? That's right. It is at the beginning of a book, and it tells us where we can find certain topics or chapters. All right. Right here, I see pictures, don't I? I see photographs. So I'm going to put that right there. Right here, I see some words underneath a picture. That's where my arrow is pointing. So I know that is a caption. What about right here? Oh, that is the title of a section of a book of something real. So I know that is a heading. That tells us what you're going to be reading about. And boys and girls, if you need to look closer at the picture, you can zoom in. I know some of these pictures are a little bit smaller. You can zoom in. Let's do that for this one. Let's zoom in a little bit. Oops. Let's delete that. To see. Oh, I know what that is. It's at the end of the book, and it tells me the definition of some of the words that were in the book. What is that? Very good. That's a glossary. Once you have completed that, you will press the check to turn it in. I am so proud of what we learned today. Feel free to review this lesson if you need to hear it again. Bye, boys and girls.